fellas, lady fellas, Elfin Royal Society, welcome to the Fantasy and Reality Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Tacker. Today in the ridiculously over-decorated studio, we're going to discuss the Thursday night preview for our Week 8 matchup tonight. So, starting out in Week 8 will be the Washington Redskins traveling northwest to take on the Minnesota Vikings. The Redskins come into Week 8 with a fantastic record of 1-6, while the Vikings come in their zone, getting it at 5-2 with 3 consecutive wins. I'm going to go out and put my prediction out right now that the Vikings are going to win. I mean, they're feeling themselves, 3 dubs in a row, they're on a roll. Redskins don't really stand too much of a chance, but we'll get to our starts and sits because at least that's a bit more interesting. Don't worry, this will be another pretty quick no-brainer video with most of the starters being, like I said, pretty no-brainer on who you should put in and put out. So for the Washington Redskins, the only viable start on the entire team that I think would be even a smidge of possibility would be Terry McLaurin, and that's only because he's doing so well. I mean, he is going against Xavier Rhodes this week, but he hasn't quite been Xavier Rhodes of the past. This year, he's done well, but not as well as you expect, especially for a name like that. So, I mean, it'll be harder for McLaurin to be a factor in the game, but I would still put him as a start with caution because, I mean, if you start him and you need to, I don't blame you, but, I mean, it's kind of a iffy situation. If it was the Xavier Rhodes of a few years past, I'd definitely sit him, but, I mean, the lately Rhodes kind of iffy, so, I mean, if you want to start McLaurin, you can. And then the rest of the Vikings D is pretty tough, so you could probably sit all the rest of your Redskins, whomever the quarterback is, AP with his high, low, ankle sprain, this and that, Trey Quinn, Vernon Davis, whoever the other tight end is, the defense, the kicker, all sits for me. Now, for their opponents, it's basically the opposite. You start pretty much everyone. Kirk Cousins is a start. He's been throwing like a madman lately, and he, much like the whole team, has been on a pretty impressive roll. So you kind of can't afford to keep benching him like I have in the past. And Dalvin Cook, no-brainer, must start. We all know if whoever has Dalvin Cook, start him every single week. So enough about him. Now, Stephon Diggs is going to be a huge start. He should be the main target of Cousins because Adam Thielen has been ruled out for this week. He left in the first quarter of last week's game with a hamstring injury, and so it seems pretty severe enough that they already ruled him out. So you obviously don't want to play him this week. I mean, it's just the Redskins, so they most likely won't need him in order to win the game. So, I mean, he would have done well, but obviously they won't need him. So hopefully Cousins can rely on Diggs a lot. And, I mean, they're also going to lean on Cook a lot more than usual. I mean, he's been killer lately, but they might run a little bit more because they're going to run the score up. It's not going to be probably not much of an entertaining game unless you like to see one team just beat down another one. So, moving on. And although Kyle Rudolph found the end zone last week, I don't feel like this is going to be a reoccurring theme with Rudolph. So, I mean, if it continues this week, we could see a change for him to be a start in the future. But as of now, he's a sit for me. And you should also start the Vikings defense and kicker. It should be a pretty one-sided affair, as I said before. They're going to beat down on the Redskins. It's not going to be an interesting game, most likely not a defensive or back-and-forth type game. It should be pretty one-sided, a beat-down, and just hopefully, I mean, if you're going against Dalvin Cook, good luck. So if you have Cousins and Diggs, good luck too, because Cousins could keep up what he was doing, but, I mean, he also doesn't show up in prime time sometimes. He will show out against tough teams and play poorly against bad teams, so we'll have to find out what Cousins would get. But that was my Thursday night preview for Week 8 featuring the Washington Redskins and Minnesota Vikings. Let me know down in the comment section below who you're choosing to win and why. I mean, I told you right at the beginning who I thought was going to kill it. I mean, on paper, it's not even a matchup. As I said before, Terry McLaurin's the only glimmer of hope that the Redskins would have. So if he can have a ball-out type of day against that pretty good defense, then I would say that's pretty much a win in the Redskins' book. So, like I said, let me know who you think is going to win and why, and then also mention who you would start and sit in this matchup and why. But as always, thank you for tuning in and thank you for your support. Leave all questions, feedback, topic suggestions, comments down there in the comment section below. We'll get to any and all questions, answer them as accurately, as in-depth as possible. And remember that sports is supposed to be enjoyed together. So please tell someone about us, watch together. We want to grow the entrepreneurial society as much as possible. In order to do that, you gotta smash that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. So we keep trying to give you as much content as possible. And also don't forget to hit that little notification button so that you're notified as soon as we get the videos online. But lastly, God bless America and God bless fantasy football. Take care.